Welcome everyone to episode 59 of the draft. My name is Ryan Stevens. I'll be your host tonight as usual. I am with wintherace.info. That's where all the crazy weird stats and stuff I'll be talking about tonight come from. And a lot of what Tino and Phil are going to talk about. And we have a guest on tonight, debut drafter Dale Tanhardt. If you're watching NASCAR or in the NASCAR community or betting community or anything at all, I'm sure you've seen him at the track or listen to his stuff, watch him race. I know, Dale, I'll tell you this. My little brother, I work with both my brothers for my day job. And my little brother, too, he's like, have you ever seen this guy? And he's like, and he pulls up one of your iRacing videos. I was like, yeah, dude, I know, Dale. That's cool. But so even like it's just weird, you're out there in the world and you don't know who's watching your videos, and it's cool that it like hit home with me, and it's great to have you on the draft here tonight. So I'll just kick it to you first. You want to let everyone know instead of the end of the show where everyone can find your content and all that stuff, you want to just let everyone know kind of what you're doing this season and where they can find all your stuff. We'll talk about that quick, and then we'll hop right into a quick Chicagoland review.
Yeah, dude, I love hearing stories like that. Anything to try to grow the sport. Some people may not like my style in anything that I do. I'm blocked on Twitter quite a bit from maybe some excessive trolling at times. But I love stories like that because it's just any avenue we can try to grow the sport. And obviously the fantasy stuff and the betting stuff is critical in that aspect of trying to grow the sport. And I think iRacing is a great tool for that too. But it's great to be here. I'm excited to make some draft picks. I think the format is neat, and hopefully I can smoke you guys at Atlanta, which has been a good track for me in the betting sense. But it's at Dale Tanhardt everywhere, whether it's Twitch. I just started streaming on Twitch as well as kick.com, and then all the regular social media platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, if you're interested in that type of thing. But yeah, no, it's I'm thrilled to be here, and it's going to be a fun race weekend. We get a real drafting race, a Sunday night Atlanta race that has been nothing but pure cinema. So I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, Sunday night race. Atlanta's one of the ones too where like talk about my family again, but my dad will text me randomly after the race. He never watches, but he'll always catch Atlanta. And he texts me right after. He's like, that thing was awesome again. So it's just cool. Like you said, doing what we do to help try and grow the sport. And then they do what they did with Atlanta. And that does, some people might not like it. And I might not agree with everything they're doing in this drafting package. But when you watch this race, it's always exciting. So, I can't wait to see what you guys have to say tonight. What a good debut for you two on the draft here, because there really are no wrong answers tonight. So I'm curious to see which way you guys go with all 8 teams, and then the bonus pick too. See where we go there. All right, so we're coming off Chicagoland. Chicagoland, I thought was a great race. That race had everything to me. Like you had leaders ran down, you had differing strategies, you had tires, mattered. It was just a good race to me. Like that's kind of what I like sitting down and doing. I like the ovals. Maybe I'm just old school in that sense, but I kind of liked watching the differing strategies play out and how the race ended as well too. You had a great battle at the end there. I know there's a lot of bell bettors that are getting a little tired of it, but it was fun to watch. So Tino, I'll kick it to you. And the reason I'll kick it to you too, I'll bring this up real quick. You won the draft last week. So you are now within 1 victory of me. You're at 6.5. I'm at 7.5. Phil, you're right there too. 5 wins, I believe, right now. So we're all right there. But good picks. That's what we get for fading Hamlin in the bonus spot. Just what a bonehead move last week. But Tino, I'll kick it to you. What'd you think of the race?
That was a great race. I texted you guys at one point because I had, first off, betting wise, didn't do that well. I had Kyle Larson. We saw him spin out on his own accord, and that kind of took out a big chunk of some of my plays. Aside from that, though, I had Christopher Bell, so that that finished second. But I was enjoying the entire race and thought, let me text these guys right now because I don't think it's going to end under green or go green to the end. And it did that. And I was hyped because I was like, well, to help my bets and to do all this, I was like, oh, no way it's staying green. But then it did. And I could only be like, okay, well, that rocked. Like, that was an awesome race to the finish. It got close at the end. You saw Chase Briscoe win, which to me, a lot of his wins are like good races, or at least you can enjoy it when he's doing so. But yeah, I thought it was a great race overall. I'm hoping they go back there. Obviously, this next gen car has done really well in the intermediate style of racing, but and then we saw some drama too. SVG Austin Hill getting into it, but I really like how race after race, like points continue to matter. Denny Hamlin increasing his lead. Tyler Reddick still having some bad luck. So it's going to be interesting to see now 7 races to go before the chase. And before I stop talking, shout out to Dale for being here. Appreciate him and all the comments in the chat as well. They're flooding in. Excited to see you guys. If you have any questions for Dale specifically, throw them in the chat. I'll be sure to pull them up throughout the night.
Yeah, we do have a regular listener who is big on Logano, so curious to see where you guys go there and what he chimes in with tonight. Phil, how you doing, man? How'd you like the race last week?
I'm doing great, and echo what you guys said. I'm really pumped that Dale's on tonight. Just really enjoy everything that you put out there. I said that to you last time you were on the show. But yeah, this is an exciting week. And for last week, 3 points I got to make. One, I'm not going to make Ryan and Tino say sorry for picking a non-American on the 4th of July, but let's just say I was right. 2, I was pumped. I had Toyota outright. That hit. They looked great, but it was nice to see Hendrick put up a fight. Those guys were, they're slowly sort of building, and you're just wondering, like, is it building to anything? And it feels like, there's a little bit of momentum. So to me, it makes the chase potentially pretty interesting when we get there. And the last thing, you kind of alluded to it, Tino, like hopefully they're going back there. I honestly said to my wife on Monday, she's loves Chicago. I was like, you want to go to Chicago next year? Like, and she's like, when? I was like, I don't know. Let me tweet Ben Kennedy, see when the schedule's coming out. Like they better go back, because it was such a good race, like soup to nuts. I was really pumped, and I enjoyed the Sunday night aspect of it, and I'm glad we got another one coming up this week. So should be a good one this week, and I'm excited to get after it here.
Yeah, thought it was a lot of fun. Dale, what'd you think? Think we should go back there next year?
I do. I saw the comments. It may have come from Ben Kennedy. It was one of those news accounts. I think it was Adam Stern that may have tweeted it, but there's potential for this market to have both the street course and the oval race. I don't hate that idea. I don't even hate the idea of like alternating, but I thought it was a good race. Betting wise, I did have Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell. Kind of a missed opportunity because I also bet on Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick pretty heavily in other areas, so I didn't get to capitalize on a big night. But the Gen 7 does kind of spoil the quality of the finish. Lap traffic and dirty air, we kind of saw it. Everybody wants to call Chase Briscoe a dirty air merchant, but like they all do it, right? The 1.5 miles just happen to be where that dirty air problem is mitigated the most. I know we saw it towards the end of that race, but I don't want that to be the focus of Chicagoland. I think Chicagoland, if we can have a little bit more tire wear, like we all thought we would see, Chicagoland could be elite in the Gen 7. And the fan turnout was great too. We had kind of been teased that the fan turnout was going to be bad, up until a few days before, maybe the week before, week of, we saw that it was trending towards a sellout. And I think they did accomplish that. But I think it was a successful weekend, except for people that got stuck in mud trying to get to the racetrack. I'm sure we'll have better weather next time around. I also think that 4th of July, I think the gods are always going to curse every other destination of 4th of July NASCAR race, because it's time to move back to Daytona, right? So I think you go back to Chicagoland, you don't run it on the 4th of July. I think the O'Reilly Series put on a fantastic race. I think trucks would put on a great race too. And I think the Cup cars, you get a little bit more tire wear, and I think it could put on an even better show than it did this past weekend.
Yeah, maybe next year, they can bump up the additional horsepower package to 1.5. They're almost there when we run it at like Nashville or whatever else anyway. So what's a little more length to it? And maybe that would help some of that, make the endings a little better, let them pass a little more, make them worry about tires a little more. Who knows? And then Phil, I love what you said too about, HMS kind of catching something lately. And we come to Atlanta, where they have the most wins in the Gen 7 era. They have 4 wins out of the 9 races. So maybe this is the time for them to catch it. And we know it's like hard to say that in a drafting race, but they've been awesome. So Chase Elliott especially. So we'll see if we talk about him. All right. Enough of last week. It was fun. I hope we go back. Let's get into this week. So if you're new to the show, we're going to draft 1 driver each from the 8 teams you see on the top of this here, and then plus 1 bonus driver is going to score 1.25x their points. We'll use real NASCAR scoring to score it. And the winner will pick a charity and win the race. Will donate to that charity every week. So we pick something new every week. Tino won this week. He picked America Gives, which encourages Americans to volunteer in their communities. And participants can log volunteer hours, and the organization is donating $1 million through a program in which 250 participants help direct donations to eligible nonprofits. So a good one for Tino to pick out there for 4th of July weekend victory. Pretty cool stuff. So we'll donate to that tomorrow. And let's jump into the quick track preview before we get drafting. Phil, we're going to Atlanta, Echo Park. I keep calling it Atlanta. I think I'm always going to do that until I'm dead, but it's Echo Park Speedway is what we're calling it now. Why don't you let the people know what they can expect here?
Sure thing. Yeah, I'm also one that does not respect corporate sponsor naming of the track. So yeah, Atlanta Motor Speedway, but Echo Park here. And yeah, I mean, for everyone expecting this is going to be another good one. People call it the most exciting track in NASCAR since the next gen. I know we're blessed to have a lot of the same folks in the chat and listeners every week, but in case you're tuning in for the first time and you're just getting back into NASCAR, this is a 1.5 mile track that was repaved back to start the 2022 season, and it's turned into now a drafting style track. So kind of like a little Thunderdome here, a little mini super speedway, although I'm not going to call it a super speedway. Drafting is really what you're going to be able to expect here. And this is the first track we're getting to this season where it's the second trip. So we have some data to look back on from earlier in the year. And that's great. Reddick was your winner. He was on the middle of that stretch where he won 3 in a row to start the season. So looking at the weekend schedule, we've got no practice this week. Qualifying is at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon, the race 7 p.m. Sunday night, as we said. Stage breaks, we've got 60 in stage 1, 100 in stage 2, 100 in stage 3 for a total of 260 laps for this Quaker State 400. Goodyear notes, we usually touch on those, but there's not much to report on. They use this combination for the first time in the first race of the year, and that was the first time they were using the right side tires at this racetrack. But this tire combination is track specific. They have the notes, nothing we can really pull from as gamblers or players here in the draft. And track stats, 9 next gen races to look back on. The winner has started on the pole 3 times, and which is kind of weird for a drafting style track, but Reddick was the last one to do it and happened this year. Starting inside the top 5, it's only been those pole sitters that have been starting inside the top 5 to win. 4 out of the 9 races, the winner started inside the top 10, and twice the winner started outside of the top 20. It was Christopher Bell from 32nd. And you kind of touched on Hendrick being pretty good here. Manufacturer trends, Chevy has 5 wins in the next gen car at this track in the repave. Ford and Toyota both have 2 each. So that's what we got here for Atlanta Echo Park Speedway.
Awesome. Yeah, it's one of those. I was doing like some preparation for the little preview I do with Eric, and we're recording that tomorrow this week. But it's just so weird to look at like average running position on a place like this, and then average finish and things like that. It's just like it's so hard to find any specific stat that's sticky. But Greg, he actually did running hot with Nick Giffen this week. He filled in for Stevie, and I got to listen to that tomorrow morning. But Greg's the one, he back tests everything, and like average running position is the closest thing that correlates to finish, but it's not even close at all when you start comparing it to intermediates and stuff like that. So it's just kind of interesting to see. But that's why I like these shows. We can talk about gut feels, we can talk about momentum, we can talk about all that fun stuff. So, all right, let's hop into it. Tonight we're going to debut our random draft order here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and we'll see what team we're going to talk about first. And first up, interesting. So I'll pull up the draft board. Hendrick Motorsports.
Wow.
Right off the bat. So we talked about it, and they come up first here. Tino, I'm going to let you lead this one off. What do you have here for Hendrick?
Okay, perfect. Well, before I do that, I do have to give this comment a special shout out. Our boy Chris, he said it's been a minute since he's been able to tune in live because hashtag new girl dad of 2. Let's go. Way to be. Good to hear it, Chris. Congrats. And good to have you here live as always. But for me, E59 said it, not Kyle Larson. That'll be correct because I'm going with Kyle's comment in William Byron. Okay, here's why. Last weekend showed something to me. Obviously, different track style and everything like that. But I do take into account when someone just has more speed than they have had all season. They said that on the broadcast, and I wouldn't have been happy if William Byron won. Was fine with Chase Briscoe. He's been up there all season, it feels like. Bad luck to start. But Byron's the exact opposite, in my opinion. And I think now, watching that race last weekend is like, okay, they found something. Maybe it was just at that track. We're about to find out. But I like him having speed last weekend, going to a track here in Atlanta to where he has multiple victories, is always strong on the super speedways. Now, I also want to note, see, a lot of things are going on through my thought process with him because he has not been good on the super speedways this season. So some guys, you can kind of have a feeling maybe they're due to turn it around. Maybe they're due for getting involved in the big one. You can never really tell, but for William Byron, that's why he's my pick this weekend. And I do have to throw a special shout out to Alex Bowman, finished 5th last week. Maybe he's got a shot at it too. I would be very excited to see what his prices are looking like this weekend.
Yes, Caesars actually has a group that is just the 4 HMS guys. And Bowman is 4-1 in that group. And I might bet it. I might bet it during this show. We'll see what you guys have to say here. I'll go next. My pick, I think, is pretty chalky here to lead it off, but I'm going with Chase Elliott here. This is really, it's kind of just like a Chase Elliott thing. Like even last week when he's not one of the best cars, he wasn't one of the worst cars at all. And he was above average, but he's just always hanging around. But you get here to Atlanta, second best average finish here over the last 5 Atlanta races. If you zoom out to all drafting tracks since 2024, second best average finish in that sample set as well. So he's been really good at surviving these chaotic races. He has the second most points scored in Gen 7 Atlanta races behind only Ryan Blaney. So that's what we're trying to do here is score the points. So I'm going to go with Chase Elliott here. Dale, I'm going to kick it to you here. What do you got for HMS?
Yeah, I'm going to go with William Byron. I'm going to go with Tino here. I think William Byron, I love that comment because I am a dedicated believer in momentum, especially when you start getting hot at the right time. Of course, different track types, right? But like Tino said, William Byron's a 2-time winner here. I feel like he is so due to find victory lane. And I think if it's going to happen, it might have to be at Atlanta. Now, they had great speed at Chicagoland, still not up to par with the Toyotas on the long run. But William Byron is so sneaky in the draft. He's got to be so hungry considering in the Gen 7 era, he's been a juggernaut in winning races in the first half of the season. I know last year they clutched up at Martinsville finally in the fall, but in terms of the majority of William Byron's wins, they're in the first half of the season. He's won at Atlanta twice. He's won at Daytona. He's won the Daytona 500 twice. I think William Byron is just in that category now that he's had a good run at Chicago of knocking on the door. Now, he's been a little snake bitten here. I think he's crashed in 3 consecutive races at Atlanta. That's going to happen. We're going to have wrecks on Sunday night. Being the one true drafting race that we have right now with the aero package problems we have at Daytona and Talladega. But I really like William Byron. This is kind of a gut play in a way because he hasn't found victory lane and he's had some bad luck on the drafters since his Daytona 500 win. I think he had a good finish at Talladega last year. But in terms of Atlanta, I think William Byron, especially with betting pricing, around 16-1 outright, feels like a steal. So I'm going with William Byron because I think he is a very sneaky threat to win and run up front most of the night.
Yeah. And of all drivers that have raced in all 9 Atlanta Gen 7 races, William Byron does have the best true average running position. So he's ahead of Ryan Blaney. So Byron's a great pick here as well. Phil, where are you going here?
Well, I'm glad Dale called out the betting aspect for Byron because I am on Byron to win from a betting standpoint. But for the draft, I'm going to take Chase Elliott because of a consistency standpoint. And I'll get into some numbers here in a second, but it's so hard to finish these races. And out of 9 next gen races here, he's been a part of 8 of them. And he's got 7 top 15 finishes. So in a game like this, when, anything could happen at this track, I got to take a guy that is showing just blatant consistency. As far as his numbers at this track, I mean, he's one of the best average finish, 9.4, third best driver rating. I know you mentioned the true running position, Ryan. I think that's a little different than just the regular running position stat, which he's second in 11.3. So amazing. And then this season, 6.3 average finish on the 3 drafting tracks. You know, I know Daytona and Talladega are different, but drafting is drafting, and second in average running position there. You mentioned that being a key stat for this. So got to go with Elliott here. And, you know, I don't think we can go wrong between the two, to be quite honest with you. Because like I said, I love his outright price, sprinkle on that, but Elliott's my pick right now.
Perfect. I love that. Now we're gonna hit the randomizer again here. Oh wow, we're getting the big dogs right off the bat here tonight. So we're heading right to JGR.
Oh boy.
Phil, I'm gonna keep you on your toes here. I'm kicking
boy.
it right back to you, Phil. What do you have here for this Toyota team?
All right. So this is the one team that I was like truly toss up. So I'm a little unprepared. I apologize, but I'm going with Christopher Bell. Just because it's more of a process of elimination. Ty Gibbs, sorry, Zach, he's not somebody that's on my radar this week. And same with Denny. Like Denny doesn't really do it for me this week. 2 top 10s and 9 starts here. So Christopher Bell, we know that he has a win here. I've seen him do it. He's so like hit or miss, but just, you know, 1 win, 3 top 5s. That's somebody that I can kind of grasp at here on this team, and the momentum that he has, even though he's not finishing the job, just continually going out there and performing well. That's exactly what I need coming into a racetrack like this. So Christopher Bell is my pick.
Yeah, I'll just go again here too, because I'm not changing my pick, and you and I are already the same. I was Christopher Bell all day as well. I love everything that you just said, and then I looked up on the enhanced loop data. You can look up, you know, who's winning these top manufacturer bets. Christopher Bell's won the top OEM 3 times at Atlanta. He's the only driver that's won top Toyota or top manufacturer of their own 3 times or more. So he is getting the finishes. You mentioned he does have a win here as well. That's obviously a top Toyota. But I also love his momentum as well. I think he's just so close, and it'd be so funny if this is where he finally just does it and gets the win. So I don't want to miss that. I'll pick Christopher Bell here. Dale, I'll kick it back to you. What do you got here?
God, I hate this. We're going to jinx him. I know it, but I'm going with Christopher Bell too, because he is a stud at Atlanta, man. I mean, his statistics are amazing here. You throw out when he got wrecked while in the lead by Hocevar on one of those overtime or green, white checkered restarts in the spring. I mean, he's been lights out. It's so interesting because Daytona and Talladega have not particularly fared well for Christopher Bell, but Atlanta, he's been elite. I mean, like you said about in the betting aspect, I love his top Toyota price if you're going to give me 5-1 or better, because he's just been so successful at cashing that at Atlanta in particular. But I love the narrative too. Like we're going to jinx him because it feels like the most for sure guy on the board here, because the narrative is there too. I love the narrative of broke his wrist in the summer, fell apart for a little while, had to jump out of the car, and all the tracks that Christopher Bell is so good at, the 1.5 miles, some of the shorter tracks. Now he wins at Atlanta and gets back into that winning groove once again. So I love the narrative. I love the analytics. I love the eye test. I got to take Christopher Bell myself.
Beautiful. Tino, are you completing the jinx here, or are you going to maybe save Christopher Bell's life this weekend?
Dude, pick Ty Gibbs, please. Anybody.
Well, Elijah's saying NASCAR Twitter going to have a meltdown if JGR wins again this week. So you better get him some ice. Give me Christopher Bell to win it. Throw him on my draft board. I'm not a jinxing guy. This is now the sweep is now going to propel him to victory. Now he's got the drafters pushing him forward. You guys said it all, but the one thing that I'll add is he's very good at I feel like Atlanta is such a technical track now. Like you have the super speedway aspects and the draft, but also just the cream kind of rises to the top here. Like it is the best of the best when you go to Daytona, Talladega, those super speedway drivers who were great there, the Blaney's who we'll talk about, Byron, who we've picked, Elliott as well. Like those guys are going to be fast here. It's not really as crazy or chaotic. Yes, the big ones make it that way, sure. But this is a guy that's able to manage staying out of those, finding a way to put himself in the right place at the right time and have patience to go all along with that. I mean, we look at Briscoe, right? Heating up, was right there, had bad luck, got a win. This is Bell. I mean, he broke his wrist. That had to have been where it all stopped. Now he gets back in the car. Give me a top 5 at Sonoma with a broken wrist. Give me a second place finish in heartbreaking fashion last weekend. I think hopefully this could be a chance where he gets it done here.
Awesome. All right. We're hitting the randomizer again. Let's see who we get here. Oh boy. All right. Well, we leave these teams and we head to Trackhouse, boys.
Oh, geez.
A lot different than what we were just talking about. But there is one driver on this team who's consistently good here. I'll just lead this one off. And again, sorry if this is the chalky pick, but going with Ross Chastain. I mean, he just tends to show up at Atlanta. Look at how his year is going this year. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, these guys are slow everywhere and finished third at Atlanta earlier this year. So he's got the 9th most points scored here in Gen 7 races. And all we're trying to do is score NASCAR points in this game here. So I don't know. Give me Ross Chastain. Every time I try to get cute, it doesn't work out here at all for me. So outside of a road course, obviously. But give me Ross Chastain. And Dale, I'll just kick it right back to you. What do you got here for Trackhouse?
Yeah, I'm going with Ross. God, I hate this because I feel like it's going to be the same thing. But yeah, he's fantastic at Atlanta. And this has got to be, circled on the calendar 6 million times because this is the one equalizer that he's got before we get to the chase. I mean, mathematically, they've got a shot to get in. But, I wonder, we've seen Trackhouse struggle outside of the road courses. But, it's kind of undermined how he did have a crew chief change heading into 2026. And it seems like that has hurt too, just in their overall speed on mile and a halfs, short tracks. They just have not had it, which has been bizarre because he's been pretty solid at those particular technical racetracks in his tenure at Trackhouse. But what I like about Ross Chastain, just dating back to 2023, 21 starts at drafting tracks, 14 finishes inside the top 20. If he doesn't have a great day, if he's not in contention for the win, like I think he might be, he's good at finishing. We need that guy that is pretty solid at just getting the finishes. I love Joey Logano on the super speedways, but he crashes all the time. Keselowski, those guys are pretty tumultuous, and I know we'll check in on them later here. But Chastain, I think he's going to be a winning contender. He was great here in the spring, had a shot to win it. I don't think anything's going to change. And if he's not a winning contender, I think he's going to have a good points day, which is what this Trackhouse team needs.
Awesome. Yeah, Trackhouse, like what some of the bets that I've liked doing, although I don't really like the team numbers this week, where I would always take teams here. Like I know I won Trackhouse here. That was probably with Suarez won. But like it's sad that like I don't even look at this team the same anymore, and I want to, but I wish there was some help there because I'd love to kind of take a Trackhouse, and you have that Chastain in there, but I just wish the other two guys would kind of show a little more. Tino, I'm going to kick it to you. You have the opportunity here to pivot off of Dale here and be different.
No.
Are you going to do it?
I am going to do it. I had thought, and this is why, I appreciate good buddy Dale hopping in here, taking the Ross Chastain away from me. I felt like I had to do it, didn't really want to, and he has, anytime I have, for context, he's just been absolutely terrible. So now I'm going to pivot. Don't want to have the same sweep going on again. And Ryan, I got to stick up for my guy, the true American, an SVG, who last weekend, sure, didn't have anything going for him, whatever. But you mentioned guys who have been able to step up from this team. It's him. I mean, he's in the chase right now. Sure, 2 road course wins help, but I could see him getting the finishing here, getting it as we move forward and actually have a chance. The Guggenheim is funny from the Austin Hill shout out there. But to me, I think this is a good shot. He's raced here strongly before. He's showcased the ability to learn the draft quicker than I would have thought from a guy that's never done it before. And I kind of look at Charlotte a little bit, maybe it's not, a direct comparison as we call this track, drafting super speedway, but like he was very strong there. And some of the moves those cars were making at Charlotte in the 600 reminded me of Atlanta. So I'll go with this multi-groove, high, fast racing. Maybe Chastain will get it done this weekend, but I don't mind a pivot to SVG.
Oh, I had myself muted. Bad boy. But I talked a little crap there about the team, but like looking back at it at Atlanta, he did finish 6th. So,
He
maybe
snuck up at
it
the
doesn't
very
help
end.
me.
He was there.
Yeah. So I mean, it can happen. Phil, what were we going here?
I want to throw up after listening to Tino. It's Ross Chastain, and it's Ross Chastain going away. Look, we've been making the jokes about how Ross trash Stain and all this stuff for a while because he has been bad. But since Michigan, 16th, 8th, 7th, 14th. Last week he was like running 12th and then had something go wrong with like the last few laps, finished 18th. 18th, still not bad. Still best of his group here. So now he's going to a track, as you guys pointed out, Dale and Ryan. This is like the track. This is where he's got to be. He's looking at some of the notes here. 5th in average finish. He's let's see. Well, 5th in average finish, 9th in average running position, and then this season on the drafting track, 6th in average finish. He's 1st in average running position on the drafting tracks this season. I mean, what is SVG's when you're comparing it, right? Zillage, as someone said, he'll be upside down very quickly. And then if you got SVG, what's his ceiling? Is it 6th place like he had in the spring race? Well, Ross finished 3rd. So like he's going to beat his two teammates here. He has to, absolutely has to for his season. And the stats just absolutely say that's going to happen. So yeah, I was getting ready to ream you both out for not taking Ross this week and taking him this week. But Tino, you're sticking with your boy SVG. You're gonna go down with the ship. So that's fine.
Hey, let me have a counter. Let me have a counter. You're right. So Ross Chastain had 34 points in first Atlanta. SVG 32. So hey, you get 2 more points. But
you beat me by 3 points last week. Like there you go. That's the difference.
So I'm just saying.
I love a fired up Phil. Let's hit this randomizer, and we'll kick it right back to Phil here for Chevy Team Spire.
Spire. Okay. Oh man. Oh shit. This is one that I was looking to pivot off of what you guys did because I could go a bunch of different ways here. I'm gonna go with Carson Hocevar. He's someone that I love from an outright perspective, a little sprinkle on 16-1, or if you can get him further back than that. But the case that I made for him was like looking at Atlanta's finishes, you can see him progress as a driver, and he just has been getting better and better. So in 2024, his finishes were 16th and 19th. Then last year, 10th and 2nd. And then this year, a 4th. And then obviously he got the win at Talladega on another drafting track. So his career progression, this is a microcosm of it. And now he's hitting it at a very good time. It's just he's been solid. And his 5 races here, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. He's 5 for 5, finishing inside the top 20. So if we want points, which is what we need on this draft show, he's giving them to you. He's somehow keeping inside the top 20, even while making enemies left and right. Everyone says like, well, these are the tracks where you can get somebody back at. He's 5 for 5, finishing inside the top 20. So Hocevar is where I'm going to go with this one.
Awesome. Well, that's good. So I'm going to actually kick it to myself here. You're forcing my hand. So again, this is one where I could have went a couple different ways. And for myself here, I'll go with Daniel Suarez. And I'm just kind of scrolling. I had Hocevar written down, but I have some stuff written about Suarez for tomorrow. So Suarez here. I'm going to throw out last year where they just, they didn't show up. Last year with the team, it was just bad. But before then, when Trackhouse was competitive, Suarez was crushing at Atlanta. 4 top 6 finishes in those 6 races, including his win. And the only 2 he didn't were last year. Then he comes to Spire and immediately does it again, finishing 5th in the spring. So if you just got to throw out last year, I think here. He also finished, 13th and 12th in the 2 other drafting races this year as well. You look back when Corey LaJoy was with Spire, he finished top 15 in both races at Atlanta. So it's like, I love this team, and that's why I thought you could go a couple different ways here. But I think this is a perfect point when you and I have the same team, where I'm going to go ahead and pivot, and I'll take Daniel Suarez here. Tino, what do you got for Spire?
Well, I think all three present a good opportunity for a chance to win, honestly. I mean, Michael McDowell is very strong at super speedways. Phil talked a lot about Hostvar. Chris mentioning in the chat as well. Hostvar literally rode in the back the whole race in the spring intentionally, and then was there at the end, electric to watch in the crowd. Being there must have been awesome as well. So great to note that. And that's something that I noticed when it was time to prepare for Talladega, was Hostvar being there at the end of these super speedway races. Not only did he do it in Atlanta, but he did it at Daytona, and then obviously won Talladega. Well, I'm going with Daniel Suarez. To me, I just feel like 5 top 5s at this track, which is the most out of all active drivers here. That's important to me. I really had thought about a pivot to McDowell just to be different. And that's not even a bad call, I would say, when you're looking at super speedways. This one specifically, he's got a 15.1 average finish in the last 7 here, which is the same as Suarez. So you really could go either way if you're looking at those two specifically. Hostvar, I will say, has the best average finish. Only 5 races, though. My point is about the difference between McDowell and Suarez. McDowell has not gotten the finishes. In the 3 super speedway races this season, it's 20th or worse. Suarez somehow is just getting 16th or better. So he's just finding a way to get past the wrecks that McDowell is finding himself in.
Awesome. I didn't know you were going to come with me there. I thought you'd be Hocevar for sure here. Dale, where are you going here?
Yeah, I'm going with Daniel Suarez. I thought at least there would be 2 hosts of ours, but yeah, I mean, Ryan, you nailed it with how effective he's been here in different equipment. Other than those 2, and 2025 was a nightmare year for Daniel Suarez. I mean, that team was awful compared to how Ross ran. I mean, it was clear that there was something missing on the way out. They had some bad luck. Other than that, I mean, all he does is run around the top 5. I mean, he is dynamite at Atlanta. I'd love to take Carson. I'm just concerned with everything that's been happening. The report that came out this week that there's going to be no penalties with all the beef that we had at Chicagoland. Feels like a boys have at it. Feels like an opportunity for someone to make sure Carson Hocevar does not finish this race on Sunday night. Carson is a great betting play, though. I was shocked at the lines that the books had him 18-1, 7.5 to 1 top Chevy. I mean, that's awesome. And it's relatively low risk for how good he's been at Atlanta and the drafters in general. So there's a great argument to be made for Carson Hocevar. He's been running either first, second, or third coming to the white flag in every drafter this year. But I think there's a boom or bust quality here. And I want a guy that is consistent over a longer sample size at this particular racetrack. And that is Daniel Suarez.
And you're getting the name of the game immediately. So on the debut show, you know how to play this thing. So that's awesome. And the thing with Spire, too, is like we talked about HMS, the most wins here in the Gen 7 era. But Spire, those are HMS engines, right? So, I mean, and it's just coincidence the other guy, Chevy with a win, Suarez at the Trackhouse. So I don't know. These Spire cars are extremely fast this year, and
they got HMS engines and JGR setup, so not a bad combination.
Yeah, man, that's like elite, dude.
And a guy that wants to be extra aggressive. I will say one more thing, just to throw it on with Hostvar, because I noticed this at Sonoma. I was like, is it really gonna are people gonna actually get back at him at any point? Is this a real thing? And Zane Smith doing it last week was impressive to me. Good for Zane. Let's go. Although he wrecked himself. But then going back to Sonoma, it's not necessarily like taking Hostvar out. I think it's like if you see him in front of you, you're not going to give at all. And if he does some crazy block or is extra aggressive, he's going into the fence. And like that, when I see that at Sonoma, obviously road course, but like the driver's mentality, I feel like is clear at this point. If you see the 77 in front of you, you're not going to lift. And then whatever happens to him happens.
Also, 2 consecutive Atlanta races, he's had beef with Ross Chastain and Christopher Bell. So there's also an element of maybe he gets wrecked by somebody, but is he going to have help? I mean, Atlanta is cool because you can kind of make quick moves on your own, but there are situations where you need some drafting help, and he may not have that in critical moments because of the reputation that's built up.
Phil, this is interesting because you're normally the guy who's taking Elliott when we're taking Larson, and now you got yourself with Hocevar and we're taking Suarez. So I like how the tables have turned here.
I'll tell you this: you guys are making me feel somewhat good as a consolation prize because I do have a top 10 on Suarez plus 175. You guys are making me feel good about it.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Good.
All right, our next team. Here we go. We're going to go a little front row motorsports Ford team. Dale, I'm going to let you lead this one off.
God, okay.
That's normal. That's normally the reaction.
I know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
everybody. I know what everybody's going to do here. I think, but great betting play. We all know the great betting, or it's an opinion, but I think it's a great betting play this weekend. I'm going to go away with them because I love the juju of the in-season tournament guys. Todd Gilliland. I'm going to go Todd Gilliland here. I don't think he's going to be a contender to win. He is still in the tournament, right? Isn't he on the left side? Okay. I want to make sure he didn't get eliminated.
He's going up against Bowman.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, I'm taking Todd Gilliland. The Cinderellas, man. We had the Cinderellas last year, particularly with Ty Dillon. You had John Hunter Nemechek on the other side of the bracket in 2025. I love Zane Smith too much this weekend. So I'm going to naturally, for drafting purposes, for fantasy purposes, for scoring purposes, I'm going to take Todd Gilliland because my money's on Zane Smith. I know someone's going to talk about Zane Smith. I will let you do that. I'm going to take Todd Gilliland because I think he's just going to survive. He's going to get a top 20, maybe top 15, and we'll have a good day when I'm sure something will go wrong with Zane Smith.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll do it then. I'll bite. We'll go Zane Smith here. And I mean, it's obvious. Like, he's got an 11th, 7th, 7th, the last 3 Atlanta races. So you just check the box score. You know he's getting the finishes. But what I like about Zane is that if you go outside of those two, he's got top 6 finishes at Daytona and Talladega this year. So, I mean, he's always up front in these drafting races recently. That's 4 top 10s in a row now, counting any drafting race. So, I mean, he's just been there. But, yeah, it does feel almost too easy. Like, there's due for some regression here. But, his top 10, I think, is 3-1 out there. Not a bad bet. We have value on that. It's rare that we show any value when we simulate this race out. We have value on that 3-1 Zane Smith top 10. So, and Gilliland, he was my guy for so long, trying to bet it, trying to win money. I think the only Gilliland money win the race ever won was when he won the pole a couple years ago at a drafting track, and everyone had these wild tickets. But every time I bet him, he dies. So I'm okay, staying away here. And it is just, again, I'll mention it. It's just sad that we can never really talk about Noah Gragson here, unless one of you guys are going to go with it, Tino or Phil. But man, I just want to see better days for that kid. So, Tino, I'll kick it to you. What do you got here for FRM?
Well, this is a great moment for me because I'm a little torn. I had Todd Gilliland written down, but I'm switching to Zane Smith. And maybe that could bite me. But because the way I saw it, honestly, with how these guys run, unfortunately for them, like you see the 6th place, 7th, 5th for Zane across 3 super speedways this year. And what my mind thinks is, okay, that's going to end. Like, that streak can't keep going. Not to be negative about it. Like, I hope it does. But ultimately, that's where I was thinking Todd. But then I was reminded about the points, right? Like, this could be a good stage 1, stage 2 for the Fords specifically. I mean, when we see them qualify here, I feel like they're mostly taking up most of the top 10 super speedways. I think Ford, that's where they try to sort of showcase their speed. Or, I mean, it's tough because they haven't had many cases or races to do that this year because they're just not better than the Toyotas or the Chevys. So I think this is an opportunity to where we see Zane be there up front, top 10, stage 1, stage 2, pushing a Ryan Blaney, being up there with Logano. Like, their Ford sample size is smaller, obviously not as small as Toyota, but I still think they need more help to get up to the front like we see RFK do so well at. So if Zane can attach to one of those guys, I think it'll help him. Todd Gilliland, though, I love the play. I think either one of these guys for a top 10 is a good bet this week.
I do not love it. This is my different pick. I hate it, actually. But there's got to be somewhere on the board you got to be different. And I just think I've been too uniform with you guys. So Let's do it. There's always things that happen that don't make sense relative to all the statistics that you look up. This is going to be one of those things. He's going to run 9th place. That's just a bold prediction. Todd Gillen, P9, good fantasy day.
Well, that's why. So now I'm just curious myself here. I was going to look up. I was just going to look up Noah's recent finishes. Let's see. I mean, so all right. So here's Noah Gregson. Right, this year on Drafters, 11th, 14th, 9th. I mean, there's your guy, Phil. Set it up for you here to just do the ultimate smash here. You taking Noah Gregson now? Did I do it?
No, I'm not taking Noah. Yeah, no thanks. I'm taking Zane. I understand being different if you're Dale. The in-season tournament actually is a good point. Like, as much as we want to joke around, he's not a good pick. Like, it is a good point for a team like that, fighting for that money. But so I could see Gil and look, I could see both these guys when Fords get together at this racetrack. Like, I could see Zane and Gilly leading laps at some point in this race. But Zane's the pick. I mean, for me, 8th in average finish in the next gen car at this racetrack this season, 2nd in average finish on the 3 drafting tracks. Zane's my pick.
For the in-season tournament, I am all Toyota thanks to a mistake bet that I made because Caesars is so cool that when the lines drop for the race, this was, I don't know, 5 weeks ago now I made this bet. The race shows up, and then it says manufacturer, winning manufacturer, Toyota, plus 125 or whatever it was for that particular, what I thought was the race. I couldn't bet it fast enough. Boom, 2 units on it. Obviously, Toyota won that weekend. And then that was for the in-season tournament. So now I'm all Toyota for the in-season tournament here, and I appreciate how great their menus are. I mean, I should have read it. That's definitely a user error, but hey,
Well,
it gives
to
me
be
something
fair,
to root
I've
for.
never seen that. Like, I see the matchups, which they do a decent job with having them all up, but I've never seen like a manufacturer winner of the in-season tournament. That would get me too.
Yeah, they had them up leading into the tournament. I just, reading's hard sometimes. All right, we'll hit this. Oh, here we go. All right. Jump to another Ford team here, Team Penske, one that runs up front all the time at Atlanta. Tino, I'm going to let you lead this one off here because I don't know if McBride's listening or not, but what do you got? You going with Logano here for your boy or
he
no?
is here. I've seen him in the chat. He's texting so many times, asking me when's Penske, and it's awesome because the randomizer that's what we do it for. And honestly, this might be the same exact Penske slot. So I appreciate him tuning in because this week is Joey Logano's week. All right. In the last 7 races here at Atlanta, not only does he have 2 wins, but 347 laps led. To me, that just shows control of the field. If he starts up front, he finishes there. The race that he did start within the second laps there, he finished for first or second positions rather, front row, he finished there. And he was first in stage 1, second in stage 2, and wins the race. To me, this is a prime Logano position, and not only for him, he should feel good to be back because I talked about it before with Byron having some speed last week and seeing if like that will matter at all. Well, Joey Logano finished 12th, but he started 31st last weekend. And you have to be feeling good with everything they've been going through this year to get a finish like that. And he's right now 18th in the point standings, below the cut line. I just kind of feel like this is a moment to where they win this race and just get enough points and sneak in that final 16th place spot. Because this is it, though. Like, you look at those guys that are around there, Austin Cindric, Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, Allmendinger. You got to win at some point, I think, if you're going to want to make this chase. And that's exactly what Logano does. Right place, right time. And I think the stretch of races coming up could be a good one for them, too. So give me Joey Logs to get it done.
What a sad state of affairs for this 22 team when you got to come in 12th place to get your flowers from Tino the following week. It's been brutal bad for this team. Dale, what do you want to do here? Where are you going with Penske?
Yeah, this is tempting. I mean, all 3 of their guys have potential to be juggernauts because that's what and all three of their guys really need to win, right? I mean, that's the theme of the Ford camp. But I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. I am going to follow the pure combination of everything: the eye test, the stats, and the finishing results. Ryan Blaney's been phenomenal here. Last year was the only race that he has not finished. He's been a top 10 machine in a very perilous type of racing. I want that, man. I want the guy that is going to be most of the time in contention, leading laps, and being there when it counts. So give me Ryan Blaney. I think he's the favorite for a reason, right? He's done enough here. He's done enough at Daytona and Talladega to warrant checking those statistics out if you want to use that for correlation as well. And he got spun by Hocevar this year, and he came back and still got a top 10. So he can survive just about anything at Atlanta. So, yeah, give me Ryan Blaney for this one. I want the guy that is going to – he feels like the most sure bet to just get a good finish and contend for the win.
Yeah, that's where I was going all day. Ryan Blaney, you said he's the full package of your eye test. And one thing that I've seen with my eye test is that body armor paint scheme, like the neon pink, neon yellow type car. I mean, that thing to me is pretty awesome. So
I think
just
it's
add that.
Oh,
I'd love it, dude. I love that car, and I love all the
ugly cars. Ugly cars have been amazing in 2026, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
There we go. So got that on my side as well. On our side for this pick. And I see you tweet too, you like Logano's the pizza scheme? Is that one that you're down with? Yeah.
Well, it is a good looking scheme, but it just looks like something that will be turned into a diecast. You know what I mean? Like, you ever just look at a scheme and you're like, ooh, it looks like a winner. I think it does look like a winner, but I'm scared of Logano crashing out in this spot because that's what he does over and over again. I thought Baldgana would be a good omen. With the even year, I thought it was like super good juju. It has not worked out at all. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I look over like the most recent races a little more. Like, so I did like the last 5 Atlanta races. Blaney's won this team. Like, if you just had this 3-man group, Blaney's won it 3 times, Logano twice, Cindric none. And then Blaney's up there, leading the way in top 10s, tied with Suarez with 3 top 5s in those 5 races, 2 top 3s. So yeah, he's always there. Phil, what do you got here?
I will be going with Joey Logano as my pick here. So Sean, you can sleep easy tonight, my friend. Yeah, I mean, you guys, Tino made a good case for it from a statistical standpoint. More so for me though, like last gasp type of deal. Like this is, and it's more in the driver's hands than you would say at Daytona coming up at the end of the summer. So this is the chance where this racetrack is the great equalizer. If you don't have speed this year, it doesn't really matter. You can survive, and the Fords do a good job grouping up together here. And Joey's usually the one leading. And, he's won multiple times here, 2 wins, 3 top 10s, 6 top 20s out of 9 races. In 2025, last year, so a year ago, summer race, won the pole. I don't think he's going to win the pole this time. He's going to need to step up in qualifying. Looking at his statistics, he needs a good starting position. But won the pole, ran 69 laps, got wrecked, but average running position was like 2.4. So like and that's just a blemish on his record, right? Finished 36. You don't even look twice at it. Like that's a 36th place finish where he was a race winning car. So he brings, they typically bring good cars. And last year was a down year. I think you could make an argument for that too, for the 22 team. So the Logano is the pick here and gives you some flexibility later.
Nice. Yeah. I think all his laps he's ran at Gen 7 Atlanta races, he's led like over a quarter of them. It's just some insane number where like then you have Cindric in like the high teens and then everyone else is in the single digits. So it's just crazy what this team has done at this track. All right, hit the randomizer here while we're on a little Ford run here. RFK is where we head next. And I'll kind of leave the floor open here. I can find something.
What?
Well, we put it on because we're going with Ryan Preece. And I got a couple things I looked at here to come up with this pick. One, I just think like Busher is much better on the larger drafting tracks, Talladega, Daytona type tracks. And Priest, since he's been teammates with Brad and Busher, they've ran 9 drafting races against each other. And they're a perfect split, which I thought was interesting. So within that group, head to head, Priest has won 3 times, Busher's won 3 times, Brad's won 3 times. At Atlanta specifically, Priest has beaten these two out of the 3 times, and Brad got the other win. So I don't know. Like, this is another guy too, where we're talking about like these chase storylines. Like, this is a dude who needs to get some points this week. I don't think he'll be too cautious in doing so. Like, there are some of these guys who want to be able to, run their own race, and I think that's what he's going to do. Score some stage points. Just got to survive. I know that's such an easy thing to say, but give me Ryan Preece here. I just kind of liked looking at the stats too, and I was surprised at just how close they all were. Tino, I'll kick it to you here. What do you got for RFK?
So I will be going with Chris Buescher in this spot. Seems like an easy play just based off of, looking at these drivers as a whole. But this season specifically, 7th, 15th, 2nd on the 3 super speedways. I like that. I just feel like he can have a good opportunity. Kyle saying Priest upside down as minus 1,000. He's definitely he's going to get launched either way, whether to the front or to the sky. Hopefully not the sky. But back to Buescher. He's been in position here at Atlanta, hasn't gotten the job done. One of those guys that's, I don't even know what to say because I feel like he's underperforming, but he's also very high up there in the standings. I think he's going to be up there contending for wins, but they're just off of it in terms of speed, being able to do so. Maybe not more than just, but I feel like he has been the top Ford compared next to Ryan Blaney. It's been him and Blaney carrying this torch all season. And if it's not a win, I think he goes out and gets a strong top 5, top 10 type of day for Buescher.
Bill, where are you at here?
I'm going with the owner, Brad Keselowski. So it looks like we got all 3. Dale's going to be the one to jump on board with one of us here. I just feel like kind of similar to Logano, like this is a racetrack where, he's got to perform if he gives a shit at all. I know Chris said he said to him, I need you to give him one more week here, Chris. I honestly don't believe. I think Ryan's point about Buescher was correct. I think I trust him more on the bigger tracks, which is kind of crazy to think about, but that's how I feel. You spoke that hit me perfectly. And Ryan Preece, I just don't trust. And I'll break it down like kind of simplistic here. The bar is low for consistency. And in 9 races, he's got 7 top 20s. The other guys have 5. So I just need him to keep the car on the track, stay on the lead lap, whatever you need to do. And he's done that. So this is going to be a tight matchup though. Like I don't foresee one of these guys like running away with it if they're all on track, without an act of God situation here. So yeah, anxious to see where Dale goes here.
Yeah, Dale, this is a cool spot. These RFK Fords are going to be good. So curious to see where you go here. What do you got?
First, who is the last team? Is it 2311 or?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. In this spot, someone asked about the bubble goggles making an appearance. They can only make an appearance for the one true air seer left. Well, I'll give Denny Hamlin this at Daytona. But in terms of all drafting tracks, Brad Keselowski might as well be wearing these I don't know how you guys feel about cursing, so I
you can swear it.
Let it rip.
Brad Keselowski, I think, is your winner this weekend. I feel like this hopeless guy that's like, Brad's going to win this time. I mean, the amount of times he has been right there at the very end at Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta, he's going to break through eventually. And it's not just by luck. I mean, he is so good in the draft, but he's not involved in accidents most of the time. In the Gen 7 era, he's in the conversation. I think he's 3rd in laps led at Atlanta since 2023. I like what Kino said earlier about Joey Logano, the fact that he can control. Brad Keselowski can take control of this race. He's due. He's knocking on the door. He is a legitimate air seer. Brad Keselowski, my top pick to win, and my pick for the RFK fleet.
Beautiful. I love that. Love a good winner call on this. Maybe I don't know, man. If we're all on RFK like we just talked about, then that might be the team I got to bet this weekend.
I got chills, honestly, with
Yeah.
the goggles coming on. That was special. That was sick. That last week Phil put the helmet on, so that was like perfect.
He's gonna crash and finish dead last on like lap 8 probably now. That's all I'll be waiting for.
All right, Tino, I'm gonna let you lead off 23-11 here. What do you got?
Awesome. Oh, I think it's pretty cool that first week with the randomizer and our first team picked up until this point in previous shows is now going to be the last one in 23-11.
Yeah.
Just thought that was a cool coincidence. But what won't be a coincidence is Bubba Wallace winning this race this weekend. I feel confident in that. I'll take him over Tyler Reddick, who right now this season is the super speedway master. But overall, Bubba has been here at this track so many times, running well inside the top 5. And I feel like when we talk about momentum, whether or not it can impact drivers or not, this is a driver that momentum impacts. And to have the 5th best average finish in the last 5 races after the free fall, he was solidified in 5th in the standings after the first 5. Then dropped all the way down. Now I believe he's in 13th, but he's picking himself back up, staying calm when things go wrong, like we saw at San Diego. And recently, just putting up a good race last weekend, finishing 6th. To me, I just think this is a prime position. This is the way I feel about Logano having an opportunity. Same thing with Bubba. This is his chance to win. You have to feel like that's the case. Hey, those 23-11 cars have been fast everywhere, and he can capitalize on a top 10 every given week, it seems like. But if you want to go out there and win and get away from that playoff bubble chase cut line, this is his chance to do so.
Yeah, I'll just piggyback on everything you just said and stick with it. I'm Bubba Wallace here for 23-11. It's not that I don't like Reddick here. I really do. It's just that I like the consistency. Like you look at all drafting tracks since 2024, he leads the way with his 9 top 10s in the 15 races. The 4th most points scored in Atlanta races since 2024. 5 race sample, but he's scoring the points here. So I love to see that. Dale, I'll kick it to you here. What do you got for 23-11?
I love the comment you put on the screen because I'm going with Riley Herbst. I figured everybody would go with Bubba here, but nice. Riley Herbst, so underrated on the drafting tracks, man. And not just the drafting tracks. I know he's on the way out of 23-11, but his progression everywhere has got to be a confidence builder, right? So now we come to a type of track that he could win at. I mean, he was in good position of the Daytona 500. He's had other moments with other teams. Remember that run he had with Front Row at Talladega a few years back where he was right there, I think with Kevin Harvick and Ryan Blaney when they had a photo finish. Now, I don't want to lean too much on Talladega and Daytona. I love how 23-11, I mean, they were lights out here in the spring. Their cars were unbelievable. You could argue Bubba had the best car, and then Reddick had the best car once his fender came off. So I think Riley Herbst, on the way out, has more to prove and the best opportunity to prove that he can win. This is his Harrison Burton race, right? On the way out, I expect him to be in Cup based on rumors we've heard, unlike Harrison Burton going back down to O'Reilly. But this is his Harrison Burton race, man. This is where Riley Herbst can silence a lot of his haters. He's done well enough in drafting track races in the past to warrant a bet and to warrant this particular pick. So I'm going with Riley Herbst.
Hey, also a historic moment on the show. I believe this is the first time Riley Herbst has
never been picked. No, he's never been picked. This is great.
That's
smart
really
enough
cool.
as me to be the first.
Yeah. Historic. Love it.
Awesome. Phil, where are you going here?
Well, I'll go with the guy who just kind of fell right to me here. Tyler Reddick. Just makes too much sense. I can't, in this game, they need to be different. And when you have an opportunity to take the driver who's best on super speedways this season, or in drafting tracks, I should say, 5.3 average finish with 2 wins, finished 14th at Talladega after starting on the damn pole. So like he, can bring it, obviously has brought it this year, but then you want to look at just this track in particular. Bubba and him splitting hairs, but 3 top 5s to Bubba's 1, 4 top 10s to Bubba's 3, and they both have 5 top 20s. I'm just gonna go kind of play the numbers game here, try to be different. Bad luck be damned. This is an opportunity to kind of get right. I would say if I was the crew chief, stress-free race. Like everybody's gonna wreck, right? Everybody has that opportunity to wreck. Like just go out, run free, be yourself, don't stress out about it, and we'll find ourselves in a good spot. So, yeah, I'll take the 45 if no one wants them.
Awesome. All right. The way we do it, so for the leverage for the bonus pick, whoever had the worst week last week, which was me, I'll get to go last here and get the ultimate leverage of the bonus pick. So I'm just going to go right across the board here, right to left. Dale, on your debut, you get to lead it off here with your bonus pick for Atlanta.
I'm taking Bubba Wallace. I'm going to stack the 23-11 boys. I think Bubba's going to be a dominator type of play this weekend. One move is all it took from one bad move, I should say, is all it took to take him away from victory lane here in the spring. He runs well enough. He wins stages. He leads laps. I know Tyler Reddick has had an unbelievable amount of luck at the drafting tracks, and the statistics will back that up other than Talladega in the spring. But Bubba Wallace, I think, has done enough running up front where he just passes the eye test. I think Bubba Wallace has a great shot to get into victory lane this weekend. I think he's a guy out of several guys in the garage that's got this circled, especially after how that spring race finished where he got split up by Hocevar, shifted to the top lane with a couple laps to go. I don't think he makes that mistake again. I think he had the best car here in the spring as well, just on raw speed and handling. I'm banking on that happening again. I want Bubba Wallace to be my bonus pick. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to take Logano and Blaney or Cindric, so this is my be different, another be different pick potentially too. So I'm rounding out with the number 23.
Beautiful. Tino, where are you going here?
All right, well, this is one of my favorite spots. The bonus for Blaney. Two finishes outside of the top 10 here in the 9 races of that sample size that I looked at. To me, that's huge because you want a guy that can be there at the end. And sometimes it's about, aggressiveness and passing drivers, which you know Blaney can do, but it's about the moves that you don't make sometimes. Having the patience, being there to capitalize at the end. And he showed me that every super speedway, anytime you see him with a bad finish, it's because he got wrecked. Like, this is a good opportunity. If you want to look at stats from this year, it's been every other for him so far in terms of wrecking, top 10, wrecking. Now, hopefully, we get inside the top 10 once again. In the next 7 races, I genuinely, now I'm looking at the standings, right? Okay, everyone's talking about Hamlin. Everyone's talking about Reddick, as they should, because those are the guys that have been up there all season long. But in third all season long has been Ryan Blaney. Now he's minus 113. This is where I once again am going to say, in the next 7 races, I believe Ryan Blaney still has a chance to win this regular season championship. He can win the next 7, not all the 7, but I feel like he's a contender at all of these next 7 races that are on the schedule, and it could start right here at Atlanta. He can pile 2 to 3 more wins. He's got the most top 10s. Talk about momentum. He's got it 9 straight finishes inside the top 11 for him in the last 11 races. I mean, what more can you want from a driver that has been just great at consistency this season? And it'll pay off once he gets another win. He'll be shooting for that top spot in the standings.
Beautiful. Phil, you have Blaney available too. Is that where you're going?
Well, we've got a guest on this week that, I think arguably out of everyone in the NASCAR, like gambling community, probably the most respected guest we've had. So why don't I let him speak for me here? He described this guy as passing the eye test, has the stats, has the finishing results, and has an ugly paint scheme, which usually does well. We're going with Ryan Blaney in my bonus pick. How could I not? Joey Logano was a strategic play. Whenever you can get, this is kind of like a rule of thumb, whenever you see Logano good enough to hold down the fort for Penske, Blaney is a good bonus pick. It's almost a must situation. It just never happens anymore. So thrilled that it's happening tonight. And yeah, I mean, Tino just kind of lit it on fire there with the stats. Totally agree with everything. Best driver, favorite, of this race from a gambling perspective, going with Blaney this week. See if you can get it done for me.
Awesome. All right. So we get to the bonus leverage pick here. When I did everything, and I have conversations with Greg about this too, I told him last night, I'm between 2 teams only of who I want to draft 2 guys from. They were Spire, and it was 23-11. Those are the only 2 teams I was going to pick to have 2 guys from here. Penske did not make the list. I mean, they were close, but it's just like I want to get the finishes. So I had Hocevar written down originally for Spire, and then I was either going to go Suarez in the bonus or I was going to go Reddick in the bonus. I always had Bubba for 2311. I can't change what I have written down, I don't think, here, and we're going with Tyler Reddick. So one thing that struck home too that Dale said is that he's been incredibly lucky at some of these drafting tracks. I kind of like that because there hasn't been anyone really more unlucky than him over the last like 5 or 6 races. So maybe he's due to kind of bounce back here in the luck column. But what I really like about Reddick, if you look over the last 5 races since 2024 at Atlanta, he earns a lot of stage points and stuff too. He has the most NASCAR points at Atlanta in those 5 races. So it's not just like his win from earlier this year, stacking all that up. He's consistently scoring stage points in these races over the last few years. So I don't know, man. I like it. And I also love what he said about, 2311 bringing those extremely fast cars. I expect them to do that again. And so that's why I was between Spire because I loved, Hocevar's finishes here as well. But I just feel like he's a little risky, even though he does get the finishes. I don't know. But give me Tyler Reddick here. I'll stick with my original gut, 2 2311 drivers. Funny that they ended up, the last 2 picks here, but Tyler Reddick, I'll take it. And only Phil has him. So that's some good leverage on the field here.
Cheating Yoders.
And cheating Yoders. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, there's the other deciding factor too, is I want the team that's cheating. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. This was awesome. Dale, I really appreciate it. Everyone, this is a cool draft because the teams are so different. We'll be tracking it. I'll post all the points after the race. We'll see how everyone did. If you win, we'd love to have you select a charity, that means something to you. And quite frankly, like even if you don't win, it'd be cool we had you on. If there's something that means something to you that you'd like us to donate to, we'd love to do it. So please let me know. But yeah, anyone have any final thoughts? Tino, you want to look through the comments real quick? Do we have any questions or anything like that we didn't get to?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll keep them pouring in. A great night for comments. Everyone was chiming in with some of their picks and plays. Here's a good one from before. The only corporate sponsor that has been supported by Chris is a Lowe's Motor Speedway. I can agree with that one. That's a good throwback. Let's see anything else coming in. So I was thinking that Phil has the landslide win here. Don't know about that, but I understand.
Because of the Hocevar play.
Yeah.
I'm shocked I'm the only one.
And then TK saying Zilich had more bad luck, though Reddick lost more in the process. Okay, yeah, we saw that. Randomizer was a definite ad. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that because, as Chris mentioned, Sean McBride surely did log off after his Penske picks, but I'm glad we got him to hang around wondering when it could happen. So appreciate you guys. This is the first time with the randomizer. I thought it went great. It kept me on my toes personally. Like normally I have my things prepared to say, seeing the next team up and whatnot. And it kept me, I don't know, ready to rip whoever could come up on the board there. So appreciate you guys having the good positivity towards it. And yeah, if you guys got anything for Dale, now's the time before we sign off here. Whether it's, I don't know, questions about iRacing, want to see his dog. I know I want to see the dog. Can we get a dog shout out, Dale?
Yeah, Rocky's over here.
Let's go.
He really
might go see him. Actually, he's got his eyes. Here, come here.
Yes, this is it.
He tried to bite me. He loves to try to bite because he's an old bastard. Yeah, this is as I call the crew chief. He's the last dog to see Dale Earnhardt race. I'll take no further questions about his age. But yes,
that's awesome.
It's Rocky. He is the crew chief of this household, and he is the rock, no pun intended, of my life.
That's beautiful.
Love it.
Love that.
Pun totally intended.
Phil, do you have your truck pod coming out?
Yeah. I was chirping you last weekend, Ryan, remember, because I was like, yeah, you don't have San Diego race up there on the site. I was trying to get ahead of the truck stuff. So they'll have a pod. I'll probably record at some point tomorrow afternoon, maybe this time, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I typically don't like road courses, but I feel like we did well at Coronado with the trucks, and so I'm excited to get back at it.
Awesome. Can't wait to listen to that tomorrow. And then your cup one, did you drop that today?
So the Full Tank Fill podcast dropped today for all the truck series stuff. Cup series stuff. Talked a little bit about some of the stuff, but there's some other things on there that we didn't discuss. So give that a look. Let me know who you're on this week. Chaotic week. Down to tail whoever, if anybody's got something good. And the trucks will be on the YouTube channel. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was about a month from right now, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll be out in Vegas, the Bet Bash conference. I'll be on the first ever NASCAR panel for that. So if you happen to be out there, if you're someone who goes to that event, let me know. I would love to meet up with you. I'm excited for that. I'll be on with Phil from the Speedway Steve 2 crew. And so anyone who attends that, let me know.
Awesome. Tino, where are the 11 places everyone can listen to your awesome content this weekend, my friend?
Well, I appreciate that. I'll be on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Tubi TV, and the NASCAR app Friday morning for my best bets. I'll be giving you guys a rundown of the odds, some long shot plays, top tens, in-season tournament matchups. This is really where I'm taking a look at into those with 3 races remaining for that. Gonna be a little hard to predict, but that's why we are here to do that for you guys. And this show really helps me out a lot with that. So tune in there. SiriusXM. Maybe I'll be doing a pre-race show on Sunday night as well. I know Dale and I kind of do those periodically, so it's good to hear him. Maybe sometime you'll hear me on there. But yeah, it's been fun so far this season. Looking forward to Atlanta. Thanks again to Dale for coming on. Everyone in the chat was awesome per usual. And looking forward to getting another win. I mean, I want to tie it up at the scoreboard, 7.5 with Ryan. So we'll see what we can do.
Looking for that ring. Phil, do you have the ring on?
He's got it.
There we go. Beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you. Dale, appreciate you again, man. Can't thank you enough for joining. Hope you have fun tonight. The show is supposed to be fun, no wrong answers. So thank you for playing along. And again, I'll keep you posted on the scores after the race.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I actually had a great time. I like my roster. I think I got something for Sunday night, and hope my team wins. I hope our bets do well also. So, yeah, thank you guys. It's been a blast, and I'm excited to see how it shakes out. It's going to be a fun race.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Check out wintherace.info for all your data needs. We will catch you guys next week, same time, same place. Appreciate it. Good luck this week.